I never felt like I ruined so many people's day just by existing. Hey y'all, I'm Sunny, your black cousin, and here we shed light, throw a little shade on all things travel, spirituality, and wellness. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about my trip to Thailand. I do want to give a disclaimer. This video is not to disparage Thai people or Thai culture. It's also not to discredit the amazing black content creators I met while over there. I don't want to block nobody's blessing or ruin nobody's business or impact anybody's sales. I just want to give honest and accurate and authentic experience of mine, especially as a black, queer person, non-binary person. I just want to be honest and real. Why did I go to Thailand? I've heard about Thailand, most of us have, about how amazing it is. I mean, it has great marketing, amazing marketing. Since like 2013, I had always had the interest in it, and I said like, I would go eventually. I had a job offer for a teaching role, and it was very good, y'all. It was amazing. I wanted to go over there and do a scouting trip before I just like up and moved across the world. And I'm so glad I did. I went to Bangkok, Phuket, and Krabi, but I spent the majority of my time in Bangkok, the capital. That wasn't my first time in Asia either, so that was my second time. I had been to Tokyo and Kyoto in March 2019, so for a week. And I really loved it. Japan is amazing. But even my last day of being there, I told myself that I could never live in Japan because I'm too black and just too loud. And I was okay with that. And I thought that like Thailand would be different. I went there with the expectation that it was gonna be like a very like fun and groovy time. And it wasn't. Let me start with the pros, because there actually were some pros to Thailand. So one of the pros, the very first one, was the spas and onsens. I'm a spa girly. I love a good massage, a good robe, a good sauna, a steam room, hot tub. The spas and onsens there are really good. And for those who don't know what an onsen is, it's like a Japanese spa where they have like big vats of different water with different minerals and different ingredients and different temperatures. And they're just so nice. But the spas and onsens are like bar none. Well, probably better, you know, in other countries in Asia, but you know what I'm trying to say. Even with that, like I experienced racism. Both me and two black women I was with, when we got into the pools, they would often get out immediately upon us getting there. And that didn't feel good. And it happened to both me and the male side and to my female friends on the female side, women's side. So that kind of was a downer, but still, like the spas were pretty good, I would say. I really enjoyed the spas, and they were cheap prices. Like I paid, I think how much? Like $29 for onsens, which in the States, I think it'd be like a lot more, usually, in the US, a lot more. In the medical care, by the grace of God, I didn't have to receive like emergency care, but I did get a colonic, which is like a colon cleanse, and I did get prep at like a queer center. And so the colonic was amazing. It was like about like $96 USD. Which is a lot more in the US. That was my first time getting a colon cleanse, and I got it twice. I got two of them, and I felt so rejuvenated and so relieved after the first one. And the second one, I felt really good to it as well. And the service was super nice. They were super nice. There was a cafe attached that I didn't try their food or their smoothies, but the people I was with, they did, and they really loved it. And it was all vegan food as well. And then the queer center, I had an okay experience there. The receptionist, it was really nasty to me, unfortunately. I didn't know my conversion of my height and my weight from imperial to metric, and I had asked her if she can do it on her computer, and she like shouted something at me in Thai that felt like it was demeaning, and that just really ruined the experience for me because that was my intro to the office. But besides her, the experience was pretty nice. I got prepped without insurance. I don't remember how much it cost, but it was a lot less than what it would have been without insurance in the US. And it worked fine. Would I go back? Probably not due to the receptionist, but I mean, it was worth it to get prepped and for cheap. Another plus is that English is widely spoken, and that can be a plus or a minus depending on who you are. Thai is not a very popular language outside of Thailand, and it can be difficult for many people who are not used to Asian languages. Now, I will say that it is respectful and it would get you further if you want to be long-term in Thailand to learn Thai. Like I learned Sawasdee krap, which is like hello, Kakun krap, which is thank you, Chai krap, yes, Mai krap, no, and krap at the end is like the masculine, and then ka would be like the end for feminine. You can kind of choose if you're non-binary or gender diverse, which one you want to use, but they may expect one or the other depending on how you present. English is widely spoken, but while being there, I heard German, I heard French, I heard some Spanish, I heard Russian, I heard Arabic, I heard Mandarin, Japanese. Like, there are so many languages spoken in Bangkok in particular, and Krabi too, and Phuket, that it was a very international experience for sure. And the motos, so you couldn't have paid me to get on the back of a moto for transportation prior to Thailand, but I met a local who one night told me to just try it. He was like, it's cheaper, it's faster, just do it. And ever since I tried it then, like, I've been using motos for transport ever since. I don't ride them myself, I get on the back of them. And it's so convenient. And then I would say you have a 50-50 chance of receiving a helmet in Thailand. My recommendation is to ask them on the app prior to them coming. And if they say yes, keep the ride. If they say no, cancel it, wear a helmet. It's non-negotiable. Another plus I would say is the food. So Thailand is known for their food. Thai cuisine is like kind of popular worldwide. And I would say that it was good, but I think the US done messed up my taste buds because I was expecting like boom, boom, and it just wasn't given that. I also describe it as kind of like Spider-Man food. It's like very light on your feet kind of cuisine. The heaviest meal I had that was Thai was khao soi, which I love. I'll give me some good khao soi any day. That's like northern Thai cuisine. And the rest of it was just very like, I felt like I was eating appetizers constantly, and I would be hungry like 30 minutes to an hour later, and some people I was with felt the same way. And sometimes I felt like it looked better than what it actually was, like what it actually tasted like. And like, you might be paying $2 for a meal, but you're kind of getting the quality and like the feeling of a $2 meal. And so again, I'll be hungry like an hour later and be like, okay, I love eating. I'm a good tourist, so give me some food, but I don't want to like constantly have to eat like every hour or so. I'm also a big person, I'm like 6'2", so girl, I need food. I also lost weight. That was not my plan, but both me and someone I was with, we both lost weight, and she was a plus size woman, and she also lost weight too. And I was shocked by like, I guess the food is really healthy, also nutritious. I mean, compared to the US, most food is, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I lost like a good 10 pounds in my like 2.5 months of being there. So I was shocked, and that was kind of unexpected for me, but it's something to keep in mind as well, if that's something you're interested in. Oh, and I only got Bangkok belly once. I'm so happy about that. And it was so bad, y'all, it woke me up. And thankfully it only lasted for like a day and a half, but I did take some tummy pills. I can't remember what it's called, but that Bangkok belly was intense. And it actually wasn't from street food. It was from a local chain store that I had gone to quite often, but it was just one item I tried that just really did it for me, unfortunately. And the heat. So the heat was surprisingly not that bad. I get heat exhaustion very easily, unfortunately, and I usually can't handle high temperatures. But when it got hot, I just stayed indoors or went to the mall. That's a tactic if you want to go to Thailand. Like, if it's too hot, just go to the malls. And it wasn't that bad. I was kind of shocked by how well I did with the heat. And it might have been during the time I went. So I was there from, again, like late January to beginning of April. And April is like the hottest month of the year usually. So I left like right before it got like the hottest point. So just beware if you go during that time. And my hotel had a bathtub. And that's a huge plus for me, because here in Mexico, bathtubs are uncommon, unfortunately. And I love a good bath. Even though like it's environmentally better to like take showers, I love soaking. It's really good for my body. And so I really, really enjoy having a hot tub in my hotel. And cheap massages, of course. I like pay like $12 for a massage, which is unheard of in most parts of the world. I would say a word of advice is don't pay more than like $20 for a massage. The ones I paid like $30 or $49, they just weren't that good. Like, you were paying for the name and the nice building. I did receive a special request during the massage, but I politely declined. And she was embarrassed but gracious, and she continued the massage as normal. So you do got to watch out for that. If you're into that, hey, have fun. And shopping. Shopping is a sport in Thailand. Shopping is a national hobby, is a national activity. They take it very seriously. And the malls there are huge. Like, I'm a mall rat through and through, grew up going to malls, but they even exhausted me. And I was shocked. There's so many of them, and they're just like 7, 8 levels. They're beautiful. And even outside the malls, they have a lot of markets. They have a lot of different vendors. One thing about the market vendor areas is that they will hound you if you show any interest. It's not as bad as some countries where, like, in Thailand, they won't like grab you or pull you, by your body or your arm. But if you show any interest, they will lock in and like try to get you to buy their product, register for their service, do this program. So just beware when you go there, or if you go there. The cats. So there were so many cats in Bangkok and Thailand in general. If you're a cat person or animal person, you will love it. There were a lot of them in Lupini Park, and there were also a lot of Komodo dragons. If you're someone who loves both reptiles and cats, that is your place. I don't know how they coexist, because I don't know. I mean, whenever I went there, I didn't really see the cats and the Komodo dragons at the same time. So I know they had arranged hours of cats get Tuesdays, Komodo dragons get Wednesdays. But hey, they coexist, and I didn't see any cats or Komodo dragons harmed while being there. So that's a good thing. Finally, now this might be controversial or debatable, but I really enjoy being in a non-Christian country, because here in Mexico it's very Catholic, and the US claims to be Christian, and in Thailand it's a Buddhist country. So I really enjoy being around just a lot of Buddhism. I didn't go to any of the temples or the shrines, but I heard that they're wonderful, and I did pass by them briefly. But it just felt nice to just be in a different vibe, a different energy outside of Christianity. So that was refreshing, and something that I didn't expect to be a problem. Now the cons. And again, this is not to be negative, and this is also my personal experience. Everyone may have a different experience while going there, but these are my honest experiences and reflections. So the white folks. Y'all, there are so many white people in Thailand. I was told that I went during the high season, but it felt like that was just the norm. It felt like Thailand was catered to white people. And when I was in Krabi, I saw more white Europeans and white Australians than locals. And that made me really sad. My friend did as well when they visited. The reason why I mention this is because my first 3 days, I got 7 death glares and stares by white folks what are you doing in my country? And at first, I thought it was humorous, but after the 7th time, I stopped counting, and I was only there for 3 days. So for me, it's just so exhausting to be around that energy and to feel like I was intruding on someone else's country who weren't even from there. So with that, being Black in Thailand, I never felt like I ruined so many people's day just by existing. And I'm from the deep south, y'all, in the US. I'm from Georgia, where I know racism. I have experienced it, unfortunately, from various groups, but it was just so heavy in Thailand, and I just did not expect it. And it was just shocking to me. I met a woman from Delaware and Atlanta while leaving Thailand, and she also hated Bangkok. Now describing my experience, and she said that they were casting the evil eye on me constantly. And for any conscious spiritual folks, you understand how harmful that is to constantly be having this negative energy sent to you over and over and over again. And it was to the point where my last week of being there, I didn't feel comfortable leaving my hotel because one, the energy just immediately hit me the moment I went down to the lobby sometimes. And I didn't feel comfortable giving them my money. Looking down on me, but you want my money? No. And I was constantly fetishized on the apps too. That happens worldwide, unfortunately. But in Thailand, I was asked if I was a money boy or MB 6, 7 times. And a money boy, for those who don't know, is an escort. And I was like, no, I'm not selling myself. I'm not for sale. And I had to tell them that repeatedly. And I learned that a lot of Black men and African men go to Thailand to do sex work. It's a really big sex tourism hub. And I'll get more into that later in this video. But yeah, it just felt sleazy, and I didn't like being asked if I was an escort. That just didn't feel good to me. I feel like Thailand is good for Black folks who know their place, or Black people who are they don't know any better. It's cultural, that kind of stuff. And that's just not who I am. Anti-Blackness is global, but in Thailand, I feel like it required a certain level of cognitive dissonance that I refuse to give. And that's just something I can't do. So I met a Black queer dude from New York, my first week of being there in Bangkok. And I asked him hey, how was your experience being here? Would you ever live here? And he looked at me like wide-eyed, and he was like, I love myself too much as a Black queer person to live in a place like this. And it hit me, and it was a truth that I had heard too soon. Like, I knew he was telling the truth, but I was like, y'all, I just got here. Like, give me like another week. Like, just give me another week before I hear all this information. And the way that he looked and the way that I felt his energy was how I looked and felt at the end of my trip. Like, he looked so guarded and he looked so like worn down. I was like, dang, like, I was shocked, but then at the end of my trip, I understood why he looked that way. The cost. So again, Thailand is advertised as a very cheap place, and relative to like the US or the UK or Canada or some other parts of the world, it is. But some people fall into the trap of like, I can just ball out when I get here. And that's just not the case. You know, you still have the budget. You still have the budget. Whoever's watching this video, they can just go to Thailand with like no financial plans, no source of income. I would not recommend that unless you have like a large savings or a large support network back home. I was shocked by how much money I did spend while being there, and it racks up. Like the grabs, you know, the garage share apps, the cheap meals, the shopping, the going out if you go out. So you really have to be careful with your finances, and you still got to treat, if you're in Thailand for a long period of time, you have to treat it like you're living there and not just on vacation. And that really goes anywhere in the world if you're living abroad. And the sex tourism. So Thailand is also known for a very, you know, sexy time. And for me, I'm just not used to that kind of energy. I'm not comfortable being around a lot of that. It felt like a sleazy time. And honestly, Thailand felt like a drunk Japan in Vegas. And not like a good drunk, like a, oh, you've had too much, you gotta go home kind of drunk. And I just wasn't comfortable just seeing it. And the men that it attracted, there were so many like smug white men walking around, like they were like kings of the place. And it also felt a bit hypocritical being there sometimes, because I got looked at and glared at for wearing a midriff and laughing in public and even burping in public sometimes, which I covered my mouth. But I was like, you're looking at me funky because I'm wearing a midriff or I laughed, but you're okay with seeing a 60-year-old white dude with a hopefully legal young man or woman. And that was common, and no one did anything about it. It don't sit well with me at all, that kind of immature behavior. Oh, another shocking con for me was being that far from North America. Like, that was the longest I had been away from North American continent. Like, I had went to Europe for a month in 2015, and that was hard too. But I think 2.5 months away from North America, it shocked me how much of a shock it was to my nervous system. And I felt far away. I felt far away from home. And I think to even conceptualize North America being my home, even though I'm from there, it was also mind-boggling too. And I felt like I was judging myself. I was like, am I a real expat? Am I cut out for this like living abroad lifestyle if I can't handle being that far away from North America? But then I had to realize to myself, we all have different limits and boundaries. And being that far, I think being in Asia for that long was a lot for me. Some people can handle it. Some people really enjoy it. Some people want to be as far away as possible. Like, I met a couple who went to New Zealand because that was the farthest they can get from the US. But I think for me, where I am right now in my life, I want to be in North America, and I'm okay with that. Thailand was physically safe. Like, I didn't have any fear of getting robbed or getting kidnapped or having anything happen to me physically. It was spiritually and emotionally unsafe and exhausting and dangerous, I would say. I just felt so drained, and I just felt like I didn't want to even leave my hotel. Like, it was just so much to navigate on a daily basis. And I think solo traveling made it worse because I did meet some folks while over there, but I was doing it solo traveling. And so I didn't have anybody from back home that was familiar to relate back to or to go back to emotionally. It was just, I was by myself. So I would go back to Japan in a heartbeat. Like I said before, Japan is serene, is calm and tranquil. And honestly, I feel like if I'm going to deal with the downsides of Asia, I want to be either in Japan or try out China. I had like a 19-hour layover in China in their airport in Beijing, and I really enjoyed it. I was only in the Air Force. Like, I obviously can't like consider me being in China for real. But I've heard great things about it. So I mean, I might be down to try it out. But with Japan, I'll go back in a heartbeat. I really love Japan. It was just amazing and just a great vibe. To be honest, I don't feel that Thailand or Asia in general is ready for a strong, confident Black presence or population. And should they be? Like, I thought to myself, do they have to be ready for us? And that's not a question I feel like I alone can answer, but I also don't feel comfortable expecting all of Asia to be ready for, all of this. At the same time, there's a beauty and a joy of being able to travel the world and see things and experience different cultures. And I do not regret going to Thailand whatsoever. It just simply wasn't for me, and I'm just not the kind of Black person to handle it. And I think it's really important that I did a lot of research prior to going to Thailand on YouTube and social media, but it's important to find folks who have your shared identities, because I'm a Black, queer, non-binary, masculine presenting dude. But I saw a lot of folks who did not meet those like exact identities. And I think that Thailand is, for Black folks, easier for straight Black people. And it's different for queer or gay Black people. So that's something to take into consideration as well. Like, if you're straight, I think that Thailand would be a lot easier. If you're gay or queer, especially if you like present differently, girl, look at the shirt I'm wearing, it might be more of a challenge. And if you're dark skinned too. Yeah, I think that's all I have to share about Thailand. It's not a video to disparage Thailand or discourage you or persuade you. I just want to give a different perspective, because Thailand has amazing marketing, and I hadn't seen not one negative video of Thailand before getting there. And I just want to give people a heads up, especially if you're Black or if you're queer, or if you're dark skinned, what your experience might be being there. You might go and have a lovely time. You might go and want to move there. But yeah, hit me up if you like, and like, comment, subscribe. I'll be dropping more videos about travel, about dating, about wellness, about food, probably. I'm a foodie. And yeah, stay tuned for more. I'm signing off, and this is your Black gay cousin, Sunny. Bye.